Welcome to your Voice Your Impact show, where authentic voices spark real change and bold conversations lead to lasting impact.
That's right. This is a space where we amplify ideas, celebrate stories, and challenge mindsets, because every voice matters and every story has the power to transform.
Whether you're a dreamer, a doer, a change maker, or someone simply figuring it out, we are here for you. Each week, we bring inspiring guests, thought-provoking conversations, and powerful insights to help you own your voice and leave your impact.
I am the energetic EJ, a life and transformational coach, a podcaster, and an event host. I work with women who are accomplished to turn their success into legacy influence.
Hi, my name is Olawale Afolabi, but many know me as Scott Unlimited. I'm a seasoned compere and orator par excellence, passionate about connecting people through words and purpose. Beyond the mic, I'm a business intelligence professional driven by insight, strategy, and impact.
My name is Grace So Amazing. I am an integrative life coach. I help my clients align their psychological, social, and physical well-being. I am the founder of Friends Lean On Global Foundation, a non-governmental organization that is centered on educating people about mental and emotional well-being. Like,
subscribe,
and share. Welcome.
This video is going to be very long, but please, I want you to watch, because I will come back and annoy some people.
The time that I felt disconnected from my babe, and I was just tired of her. I know you'll be shocked to hear this, but I was just tired. I was just fed up. As in, she wasn't appealing to me anymore. She wasn't attractive, and I became overwhelmed. Like, she touches me, I'm touchy. Like, she was even the one asking for sex at that time, and I was not available. I was just getting any little thing. I was not excited anymore, and I don't know what was happening. So I had to go to a mentor to talk to her about it. That I don't know what is happening, but I get angry easily. I get emotional. I mean, I just become defensive. I'm not just attracted to her, as it were. And we've not had, of course, when I fast, we don't have sex. But this one, there's no fasting, and I've not been able to even come close to my wife for a while. I was just disconnected from her, and I was not really feeling it anymore. But I went to a mentor, and a mentor spoke to her. A mentor apologized on her behalf. Our mentor said that she was going to talk to her. So our mentor called her for a meeting. I don't know what they discussed. And then the next evening, we were going out, and my wife requested that I allow her drive. And then she drove the car and drove me to an hotel. And I got there. She said, we're going to see somebody. And then I was like, who are we going to see? And I entered the room. I saw roses on the floor, roses on the bed. I saw table set before me, a lot of different kinds of dishes, and I'm like, what's this? What's happening here? She said, I made all this for you. And I'm like, wow. I sat down, I started eating. I was eating this. Before I finished it, I said, send me your account number. I transferred money to her, something every immediately, and then all the love that died, the love came back that night.
I know you are angry because this video, they vex me. So you wanted to explore, you wanted to make your relationship fun, and instead of initiating it, you went radio silent. Some of these pastors use religion to manipulate their wives, and it is really sad. Emotional abuse is a thing that many people don't know. As a man of God, how is that behavior related to Christ-like? And before anybody comes with that, don't judge a man of God. Leave them for God. Thunder fire you first. And wait, I'll come to you. You manipulators just assume that people will not see through you, and God will punish that mentor that refused to hold you accountable for your actions. How can you be apologizing on the woman's behalf when she did nothing wrong? Or that was the one behaving like a pompous, spoiled child, and you are apologizing to him on her behalf.
Very, very funny. Hello, beautiful people. It's another exciting episode. I mean, I don't know. Did you watch that video? Did you watch it? I was laughing all through. And guess what? That is our guest on the show today. I don't know if you're as excited as I am, but I am super duper excited. It's February the 16th, and we still have love hovering. Valentine was just a few days ago. Where were you? Did you celebrate it? I saw very interesting videos online. As a matter of fact, I had so much fun watching some very interesting and hilarious videos. People saying, let me catch anybody that is going to be doing that thing around me. Was that your story, or was it all flowers, all lovey-dovey, beautiful moments with loved ones? What was your story? Anyways, go call your friends, because I know that we're going to be having a very interesting show today, and I want you to be a part of it. Before I introduce our guest, before I bring him up stage, take a deep breath in and out, because you are about to be wowed. Without much ado, let me just bring on our guest up on stage. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Milan Samuel. You know, when we're backstage, I asked you a question, and I'm going to ask you that same question right about now.
Okay.
Milan, tell us about the name Milan. Is that your real name or a nickname?
Well, the name Milan is it's a self-given name, right? I gave it to myself at the point where I was, about self-discovery and all of that. While in my journey of self-discovery, at every phase, I usually get a name for myself, but this one just stuck out for me. And this is the one I go with. And I had to go to court, and, I had to affiliate it and associate it with every document I have. And it wasn't just today, right? I think it was way back since 2010. So it's not like recent. So the name is old. It wasn't recent. It was like way back since 2010. And I was 18 then when I discovered it. And moving forward, I had to associate it with my name. I think then I was in SS1. And as we were resuming, I had to, include it with my name, went to court, rearranged everything, and it became a given name for myself. So my full names are actually Milan Samuel Chukwu. So this Milan is my first name, Samuel is my middle name, and Chukwu is my surname. But I usually go with Milan Samuel, because the Chukwu, whenever I include the Chukwu, for selfish reasons, whenever I include the Chukwu, people know I'm Igbo. And I usually like to, keep people guessing what tribe is he. So that's why I usually go with Milan Samuel. And when I was in secondary school, a lot of people mistook me for a Fulani boy, because nobody knew my tribe exactly because of the name Milan Samuel. When you hear the name, you'll be like, what tribe is this? You won't be able to tell because there is no surname. So only a couple of people that knows my surname knew I was Igbo, not everybody. So that was the advantage I got using the name.
Nice. I would have gone ahead to ask you how your parents took it, but I'm sure we'll talk about that another
Sorry,
day.
I didn't hear you.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
I can't hear you.
Oh. I don't know what the problem is. So if EJ, please, if you can hear me, please confirm you can hear me.
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. I hope it's not the network. Network, not today, please. We want to have this conversation smoothly without any network wahala. Please. Network, be good. Alrighty, so she can hear me, and then yes, I can just. I was just saying that I would have just asked you. The next question was to ask you, how did your parents take it? But I'm not going to ask you. Maybe we'll talk about that another time.
My dad actually had an issue with it at first, but over time he got over it. And one of the reasons why I got the name was actually because of him. So maybe that would be a story for another day. But
okay, I believe we'll have to talk about that. We'll really talk about that.
Probably.
Yeah. So Thank you so much for coming on Your Voice, Your Impact. We're very happy to have you. We already
It's good
described
to be here.
you, yeah, but would love for you to introduce yourself in such a way that people would 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 like to, I mean, would remember you, after now. So introduce yourself to
Okay.
us.
All right. My name is Milan Samuel Chuku. I'm from Ebonyi State. I'm 32. I'll be 33 next month, March 22nd. And I'm a content creator. I like to believe that I'm one of those men, one of those weapons that is fashioned against misogynistic men. I like challenging harmful beliefs. I like deconstructing some of those societal standards that has been set for both men and women. And I'm a graduate of criminology and security studies from National Open University. I come from a family of five. I'm the second and the first son. And the things I like to do for fun is creating. I literally like creating. You know, whenever I'm bored, I just get my phone, think of a script, I put it down, grab my phone, and I'm making videos. And I like challenging what people shy away from. Like, for example, this double standards between men and women. I've told a lot of men countless times, I don't feel shy. I don't feel less of a man challenging it, even if it puts me at a level ground with women. I don't. I used to say disadvantage, but thinking about it now, I think it means, level ground. I don't care about being on level ground with women because, firstly, I see them as human beings, which a lot of men do not. So, I live in Abuja and hopefully I want to move to Lagos. I honestly want to move to Lagos because I think I can make a lot of impact over in Lagos. So yeah, I think that's it with me. I have one brother and three sisters.
Interesting. Indeed, you're already making impact. And I'm sure that right now you're making impact. People would watch this later. Those that would see this later would get a thing or two from it. So, and we are happy because on this show, you're making impact. Doesn't matter where you
Thank you
are,
for having me.
you're already making impact. Yeah. So, without even talking too much, I would quickly. The first day I saw your video, and then I saw the weapon fashion again. I'm like, okay, who is this dude? Who is this dude? So I went on your page and I started watching some videos, and I was like, okay. First things first, there's something with Instagram these days. They will retweet if somebody likes your video, because that person is my friend, I get to see it. And then the person that likes the video is someone I really respect. She's a very reputable person, and I'm like, okay, let me go and see this video that this person likes. And then as I was watching the video, I was like, okay, okay. I said, and then I just jumped right into your DM and I said, you know what, would love to have you on the show because we like to question the status quo. We like to talk about things that people shy away from. We like to talk about things that are thought provoking. Like it or not, it would give you an opportunity to think. And that's why we're very excited to be having this conversation. And then when we said you should pick a topic, and then you said the double standards of sexual morality. And I was like, okay, I like that one. I shared it with my team and they said, let's go for it. And that's why we're here talking about this topic today. So the first question I'm going to ask you, where did that come from? Like the topic in itself. How did you come
Okay,
about?
the topic in itself, it's one of the many things I fight with men every day on my live stream on TikTok. I stream live Monday, Tuesday for the men, me and just the men. We talk, we get to attack ourselves, attack some of those beliefs. And Tuesday, Wednesday is for women. I have moderators that are women who handle those days with women. And then Friday is an open panel where we come up with, as a matter of fact, there are a lot of topics. I sent you more than one. If you can remember, I sent you more than one. So this double standard in sexual morality is one of the things I fight with men a lot of the times because I don't know how wrong will be wrong for one person and it is not wrong for one person. That is where I have a problem. So I don't know if I should tell you how all of this started. Like I said, I wasn't born like this, right? I used to tell men, I wasn't born like this. I am not the most progressive man on earth. As a matter of fact, if you had met me 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was a different person then. I will tell you that I was very misogynistic. But because I did not know, I had no knowledge of what I was doing, right? I didn't know what the impact of my action and my behavior. So I think until recently, I think 2 years ago, I met a couple of people. Okay, this was what happened. There was a time we were having this 30 days run challenge on TikTok. I don't know if you remember 30 days run challenge where we were like complaining about how things are getting bad in Nigeria. So my usual content back in the day was I talk about the badly behaved men, I talk about the badly behaved women. That was what I was doing. I was shuttling the boat. I was just more invested in decency, right? And being a good person. So during that 30 days run challenge, a lot of big content creators had to involve. So I made a video, I told my audience, look, it is 30 days run challenge going on, and I cannot ignore what is going on in the country and keep putting out my usual content. I'll be joining them in this 30 days run challenge so that we'll talk about what Nigeria is going through. So during the course of that 30 days run challenge, I started frequenting live streams. Like I started going live frequently. So during the ending part of that 30 days run challenge, I think we completed 30 days already, right? And then I was having a live stream, and the man came into my live stream, and he said, we're talking about cheating then, because I don't know, I am so big on cheating. I hate it and I preach against it every opportunity I get. So we're talking about cheating in relationships and all of that. So this guy he's from South Africa. I would never forget that day because that was the beginning of everything you're seeing on my page right now. So while we're talking about he now made a statement. He said, a man can cheat on his wife and still love her. And then I was like, hold up. What do you mean? That was the very first day I heard that statement. Now, when I heard it, I challenged it, and he said I should ask around that is the norms. I was like, okay, no problem. I asked 10 people. 9 out of the 10 told me it is true. And then I was like, wow. And I am a man. I don't know about this, right? So I said, okay, let me do more investigation. So I started investigating, asking the men around me, both on social media and even in real life. And I discovered that a lot of them were going with that narrative, that idea that a man can love his wife and still cheat on her, but a woman cannot. And their excuse usually is that a man is logical, a woman is emotional. For a woman to cheat on a man, she has already checked out emotionally, and she's now emotionally tied to the man she is cheating with. But if a man should cheat, a man can just walk down the street, pick a woman, do the do with her, and he's over it. That is them saying a man cheats with logic. But for me, it doesn't sit well. That, as a matter of fact, it doesn't even make sense. Logically, I used to tell these men, we are logical beings. So why are we not thinking logically? Because logically, it does not make sense. And there is one event that happens that is very popular that will make you understand that that narrative is bullshit. Sorry for the language. It's BS, right? Now, if men cheat with logic and women cheat with emotions, then why do we have a lot of paternity fraud? Because I know a lot of women who would go out, carry another man's baby, come back home, still act lovey-dovey with the husband, and give the husband another man's baby. And sometimes these men don't even realize, they don't even find out until 20, 30, 40, 50 years later. I saw a video of a man who said he has been married for 50 years. His son is 30-something. He's just realizing that the son is not his. You understand? So if men are usually the ones that cheat with logic, then how is it that we don't have maternity fraud? There is nothing like maternity fraud. You can never say, because a woman always knows that she is the owner of this baby, but a man is not 100% sure. So where is the emotion in that? Where is the logic in that? I honestly believe that women operate more on logic and men operate more on emotion, on the emotional aspect. We'll get to that during the course of the conversation. So when I started asking, I discovered that this is a thing. So, and it's a double standard for me. I don't do well with double standards, right? So I started challenging it. And the more I challenge, the more I keep getting narratives about men. From men cannot cheat on their wife. A man can cheat on their wife and love them. And then another narrative came up that which is this sexual immorality, that a man having sex is different from a woman having sex. That sex is not the same for both gender. And I'm like, why? I looked into it. It doesn't make sense. And which is why I'm attacking it, and which is why I'm debunking it. A lot of these men need to understand that what is good for the goose is good for the gander. if this thing is wrong, right, for this person, it should be wrong for this person. Now, this narrative is making a lot of men comfortable in cheating, even in marriage. They will tell you, I can go out and cheat, right? It would not destroy my marriage. But when you, as the woman, go out to cheat, it is going to destroy the marriage. And then when you ask them how, further explain this to me, make it make sense to me, right? They will tell you because cheating is not the same for the man and the woman, which I don't see any sense in that. Cheating is cheating, right? Now, there was a video I recently posted by this famous content creator, Dr. Kingsley, right? He said, if a man cheats, right, it's like him washing his hand in different bowls. But when a woman cheats, it's like different hands washing hand in one bowl. Now, it sounds brilliant, but when you examine it deeply and you break it down, you will notice that it was just pure double standard, trying to protect male privilege. Now, you can't tell me that a man cheating, he's going around, dipping his thing in different women, and then when a woman wants to cheat, she will now sit one place and different men will come. She has the liberty to move around. She can move around, cheat here, cheat here, cheat here, which is why at the end of the day, some of them come back home with another man's baby for their husband. You understand? So it doesn't even make sense when they put it like that. So that was how I came about all this double standards and all of that. So when I wanted to go into this fully, I was like, this is something we seriously need to talk about because it is misleading a lot of young men. So I took it upon myself and I was like, okay, I want to learn. I want to unlearn some of those things we have been taught, and I want to relearn something new. I need a balance. So during the course of that, I started talking about things men were doing, and I met a couple of feminists, amazing people, amazing women, brilliant, very intelligent. Those women made me understand that when it comes to emotional intelligence, I don't think men can rival women when it comes to emotional intelligence, right? And when it comes to being intellectually sound, right? So I met a couple of these women, and whenever they come on my live stream to educate people and educate women, I was very quiet. In the early stage of it, I was usually very quiet on my live stream. And what was I doing? I was learning, right? I was learning, putting one or two together to make sense. And during the course of that, I learned a lot. And then I still did research on my own. I learned on my own. And right now, I think I want to start educating these men, which is why I have live streams Monday, Tuesday, just for the men. They come in and we talk about these things. And a lot of them, it is very difficult for them to let go. But when you catch them in their vulnerable states, right, they give in. Like one time, I've had a lot of men come to my DM on TikTok and they tell me, OJ, I'm seriously learning from your page and everything you're saying is making sense. But they are not content creators. They can't come out and start saying we have learned. You understand? One time I was on my live stream. I think I've uploaded the video. This guy came, right? When I saw him, he used to come to my live stream to insult me. He comes to my comment section, he insults me. So when I saw him, and whenever they come on my live stream and they want to come up on the box, I allow them. The highest they can do is come up on the box, insult me, and they leave. So when I saw him, I brought him up. I thought it was the usual insult. And then he told me that, listen, that he has learned, right? And he used to insult me before, but one day he decided, okay, let me even pay attention to this guy. He listened to my messages, and now he said he's applying it in his marriage. I didn't even know he was married. He said he's applying it now in his marriage, and he's enjoying his marriage. That he just came up to tell me thank you, that he's actually learning. That is just one out of many, right? Another guy came one time. He was like, OG, please, can I talk to you? I said, what is the problem? He said he used to listen to my video, but he always felt irritated whenever he listened to my video. But now he's about to lose his girlfriend, whom he loves very much. And he believes that listening to me is going to help him save his relationship. I said, okay, if you want my attention right now, you have to pay. I had to charge him. And the reason why I charged him is because you had the opportunity to listen to my message I put out there for free every day, but you were feeling irritated, and now you have seen the usefulness of it, because he said he was listening to some of my videos and he's captivated. Like, he decided to be open-minded, because one of the things that will help you learn fast is when you are open-minded, right? Just put aside what you know and listen to this person. So he listened. He was like, okay, he had to pay me. I gave him my number. I said, give me a call. He called. We spoke for almost 2 hours, right? I was just listening to him. When he was done talking, I told him, this is what you're doing wrong. This is what you're doing wrong. This is how to go about it. You understand? And I think a week later, he came back and he told me it's working. And I said, I wish a lot of men would be open-minded like this, to learn. Because what I'm putting out there now, this is the interesting part about all of this, right? When I came into this line, right, what I heard is feminists want an equal ground with men. Now, I would have not agreed to be on this line of content creating if women are saying that they want to be above men. But come on, think about it. Women are not clamoring to be above men. Women are not clamoring to be superior to men. Women are only telling men, treat us like human beings. Let us walk side by side with you. We have followed you for centuries, and now we want to walk side by side with you because think about it, we're human beings. You're a human being, I'm a human being. Why do I need to be treated differently? Because I'm a woman and you are a man. You get so if women were clamoring we are superior to men, you would not have seen me, you would not have met me. But humanly speaking, these women just want to walk side by side with men. They want equal opportunity. They want to be treated like human beings, which makes sense. For men that claim to be logical beings, it makes sense. You understand? So that was how I got into this.
I love it. And I'll tell you why I love it. When we have conversations like this, the whole idea is for us to broaden our horizons, open your mind to see things from a different point of view. And that's what this show is really about. People sharing their stories and helping people see things from a different lens, and even when you were talking, even as a woman, I never saw it from the angle of, why would you say that it is okay for this person to do this thing and then you're unable to accept it when the other person does it? But the other person is also a human being, and the other person too has got feelings. And then, so as you were saying it, I was just listening to it because, of course, it's a narrative that everyone, most men, they run with it. It's easier. It's better for a man to cheat than for a woman. That it's not, you can't forgive a woman if she cheats on you. I hear that a lot. And I'm like, okay, where is this coming from? But I mean, I'm learning and I'm loving it. It's
I
opening
know
my
where it's
mind.
coming from. I know where it's
Okay.
coming from. That idea that women can forgive cheating, but men cannot forgive cheating, right? It comes from this sense of entitlement that men have been. Who is talking? I heard hello.
No, not from here. You can go ahead. I can hear you. Maybe it's from
Okay,
outside, yeah, but I can hear you.
all right. So this idea that men cannot forgive cheating, but women can forgive cheating, it all comes from this entitlement mentality that men have over women's body. Maybe after this, will you go and read up on purity culture, right? Where they placed a woman's value to her body, and they placed a man's body. They tied a man's value, right, to how much he can provide. Can you hear me? Yes. And then they tied a man's value to how much he can provide for a woman. That is what a lot of these men build their masculinity on. So that narrative that a man cannot forgive cheating is like another man touched my property and I cannot take it back. Like it is stained already. But they can go out and cheat with another man's quote unquote property. Right. So where is the sense in that? So that sense of men cannot forgive cheating, but women can forgive it. All from this, a man owns a woman's body. They don't want women to have autonomy. Men are threatened when they meet a woman with agency and a woman who has autonomy over her body. So they always feel like, okay, a woman going out to cheat. That's why you hear when a man goes out to cheat, a woman will be asking. Because believe me, a lot of these women have also been brainwashed. It is not just the men, right? Some of these women have this internalized misogyny where they are enablers of this bad behavior from men. So when a woman gets cheated on, she'll be asking her man, what does she have that I don't? Is she more beautiful than me? What does she have that I don't? But when a woman cheats on a man, it's like, did you have sex with him? Did you kiss him? Men are more interested in that because they believe that is my property. So when another man touches it, they feels like this man has touched my property. So that is where that narrative is spinning from. Not like there is anything special. It is just the fact that men have this entitlement mentality. Now, I'm not saying anybody should forgive cheating. I would not. Me, for one, I don't. Right? But when you're forgiving cheating, forgive it for the right reason, not because, okay, this person is, you know, his masculinity is tied to how much he can provide for me. That's why I hear a lot of women say, he provides for me, he doesn't beat me, he buys me whatever I want, he gives me all the money, so he can go ahead and cheat. We have women like that. So that's where that narrative is coming from. Men always feel entitled to a woman's body.
I love it. I absolutely love what you just shared, because a lot of women, we did like a research in a project that we're doing, and the the data we got from women that said that, me, I cannot live if my husband cheats on me. Is it not only cheating? I cannot live. After all, like you said, so we had more women accepting that they would stay. Maybe the only thing that would let them leave a relationship is maybe if the person is violent, or something of that nature. But for cheating, no. And then it got to a point where, I mean, it was really interesting. The men said, cheat on me, it's over. Over.
You can never say there
Over.
is no man who will forgive cheating.
Yeah, over and out. I won't see her the same way ever again. Just it I mean, this topic is just like, it's just giving me that, oh, there's actually a double standard. Yeah, we hear it, but this is what it really is. Now, my next question is, do you think society subconsciously links a woman's value to sexual purity more than it does a man's?
Sorry, I didn't hear that. Do I think
Do
what?
you think do you think the society subconsciously links a woman's value to sexual purity more than it does, for their male counterparts?
It is, they are fully aware of it. It is not something they do subconsciously. It dates way back, right? When you read on purity culture, you would understand. They created that purity culture as a way to control a woman's body. So it is not something they do subconsciously. Like, this is something they are fully aware of. Hi, Margaret, welcome. One of my friends is in the comments. So they are fully aware of it. They just did it in a way to police women's body. It has nothing to do with subconscious or unintentionally. They did it intentionally to control a woman's body. As you know, we live in a patriarchal system where men are more in power. So in order for them to maintain that power, right, there has to be imbalance. And that imbalance is them policing a woman's body. Now, women don't have rights to their body. Back in the day, but I think right now we have a lot of women who are more exposed to things like this, who would not even subscribe to those nonsense they preached back in the day. So it is something they did intentionally as a way to control women's body. It is not subconsciously, because when you talk about subconsciously, maybe it's unintentional, but they are consciously doing it in a way to police women's body. Now, take for example, right? Let's even buttress more on this double standard. Let's come into religion, right? When a man cheats in church, when a woman cheats in church, no, when a man cheats, the pastor will tell the wife, pray for your husband, right? Hardly you will see a marriage in church that breaks because the man cheated. What do? They tell the woman, pray for your husband, go to the mountain, do this, fast, pray, ask God to change him. But there is no pastor alive that can look straight into the eyes of a man whose wife just cheated and tell him to pray for his wife. It is not possible. He cannot do it, because in as much as they are religious, right, we are still in a patriarchal system where everybody grew up with this mindset. So that pastor is also, maybe the pastor is subconsciously, you can talk about religion subconsciously maintaining that double standard between men and women. That's why a man will cheat, a woman will cheat, they will tell the man, go and get, the man is going to get another wife straight up. But when a man cheats, they tell the wife, pray for your husband, right? Go and fast and pray that God will touch his heart to change. But it never works. It is nothing spiritual, but they spiritualize these things to confine women. They spiritualize these things to police how women will behave. And a lot of women fall for it, because one of the hardest people to convince otherwise is religious women. One of the hardest people to convince otherwise religious women, especially the ones that are over religious. I think 2 weeks ago I made a video. I called out a pastor. I lost over 200 followers. Majority of them were women. Don't attack my pastor. Don't attack. Even when what he said did not make sense, they'll tell you, lift men of God to God. Right? These people are human beings. When they say something nonsense, you call them out. So that double standard goes deep, like way beyond what we're even talking about, because the more we talk about it, the more you see it written in almost everything that men do. So it's very broad.
I like it. Someone is saying, Afolabi is saying, I think this is one of the real reasons behind feminism. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think feminism started, right, if I remember correctly, it was because of how women are being, segregated, how women are being treated, how they are being treated unfairly, right? How they are being confined, how they are being, policed, and how they are being controlled, right? These women were not living up to their potentials. Now, they now want to live, they want to have agency of themselves. They don't want to be an extension of a man. Because back in the day, a woman is defined by her husband. A man's status is defined by how many women he has. A man's masculinity was defined by his ability to own a woman. But now a lot of women are breaking out of those narratives. Women want to exist independently. They want to have agency. They want to have autonomy. They want to be treated like human beings. They want to have the same opportunity that these men have. They want to stand on equal grounds with these men. Because believe me, there are a lot of fields, like right now, women are dominating even male-dominated fields today. And they are doing it because they are being given the opportunity. You understand? So a lot of the things that have been wrong, even this double standard, right? It triggered feminism. Because a feminist would not tolerate what we're discussing now. A feminist would not. So it's a way of impacting women to know their worth and not believe that narrative that they don't believe that narrative that a man can cheat but a woman cannot cheat. So yes, in a way it did.
One of the things that I love to do, particularly when we're having conversations like this, is to help us zoom in on the impact, the negative impact that some of these things cause. We can talk about it. We can talk about why this is a problem. But bringing out some of the effects. There's usually the cause and effect. So there's this standard that when what is good for a staye is also good for Koinde. Let me use that term. I don't want to use goose and the gander. What is good for this person is good for the other person. Yeah. So what do you have to say around that when you're looking at it from the angle of EJ? I might need you to pop in now because my lights just went off. EJ, if you can hear me, I'll need you to pop in shortly, just in case this goes off. If this goes off, please just continue because my source of light just went out and I don't know. Okay. But the question I'm asking you is, what are the things relevant? What are the things? What's the negative impact of this double standard? How is it affecting humanity? How is it affecting human beings in general? Please shed light on that.
Okay, I think I will talk about how it's affecting young men these days, right? Because you get soaked in the lie to the point that you believe the lie and you don't want to believe anything else. So one of the ways this double standard in sexual morality is affecting people is that from the woman's perspective, you see a lot of women would stay with a cheating man. They know that this man is cheating on them. But because the society has managed to convince them that a man can cheat, but a woman cannot, because men are polygamous in nature, another arrant nonsense, right? Because a man can go out and sleep with different women, because he has a billion sperm in his ball sack, but a woman cannot. A lot of women tend to endure, right? They stay in that marriage. Some of them get incurable diseases. Some of them treat STIs. Some of them, it affects them even mentally. And not as if they don't know that this is bad, but because the society has told them that it is normal, they stay there. Some of them lose their sanity, right? Some of them, we've heard cases of women who contacted HIV because they stayed with a cheating man. The society told them it is okay for a cheating man, for a man to cheat because he's polygamous in nature. God wired them that way. That's what they keep saying. But never did I read in the Bible where God wired men to cheat, because God created man, right? God cannot create man and then give him the traits to be sinning and then still tell the man, do not sin, right? So it doesn't make sense. Another way it affects us in general as a people is that this narrative keep getting into the ears of younger men who are growing up, and we don't have enough people who are debunking this double standard for these younger men to see it on time and not get fed on the usual narrative that has been flying around. And that is why every year for generations, we keep trying to preach about these things, because we have a lot of the people who are preaching these narratives, right? They are the loudest because the society has given them the microphone. So they are usually the loudest, and the people who are against it are not really loud because they are not teaching something that is normal. Like it or not, a lot of people grew up thinking that narrative is normal, but it is not. And it is affecting us, because in another way it affects men is that they keep telling men, right? Men will be men. Men don't cry. Men don't show emotions, right? And they keep when they say men don't show emotions, when you ask them, okay, what's apart from money, what else can you offer to this woman? They will say, I can support her emotionally. You don't have, you're not in touch with your emotions. You cannot regulate your emotions. So how can you support a woman emotionally? You understand? So these men are not raised right. A lot of them are not even on the right path to even begin to learn, right? So it affecting us in a way that we need to teach these young men something different. These young men need to unlearn those garbage that they were fed with. And the irony of it is that we don't get to question it, right? We just get handed over these narratives and we don't even question it. Is it right or is it wrong? Just like a lot of men get told that you are a man, right? They don't give them the opportunity to ask themselves if they really want to be with a woman. They just tell you, to be a man, you must possess a woman. You must have access to a woman's body. So even the ones that are attracted to men want to maintain that identity of being with a man. So they are conflicted in their sexuality. A lot of these men, the reason why they are so mean on these women is because they are gay. And they can't come out to say that they are gay. They have to play the script. And playing the script, instead of rewriting the script, they are hating the character they are playing the script with. Right? Because they handed them that script of you are a man. They accepted it without questions. How sure are you that you are attracted to a woman? Because the usual the default narrative is that to be a man, you must possess a woman. You must have access to a woman. You must provide for a woman. So when they don't get the opportunity to ask themselves these questions, they just have to play along with what the society has told them being a man is all about. So that is the many ways it affects us.
Wow. This is interesting. I'm going to give a shout out to all the people commenting. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. You can share so that your friends can come and be a part of these conversations. If you have questions, please drop it so that we can ask Milan, because he's shattering tables. And like you rightly said, when you question the status quo, when you question what is known as the norm, you would get flogged for it, right? But
Exactly.
when we sit down later and
I think she's gone. Can you guys in the comments hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. So yeah, I think Grace's network
Her
is
network is
frozen at the
bad.
moment. Yes, yes,
Yeah.
or possibly our what's it called now? Her device has gone off. You know, she said the
Okay.
power source
Yes.
was shaken. Yes, yes. But quite an interesting conversation that we've had so far. And I'll just quickly take on to give a shout out to everyone who is in the comment section adding to this conversation. I see you, Do Seka.
That was my friend
Uh,
Margaret.
okay. From where? I don't think that name does not sound. Is she Nigerian?
She's a Nigerian.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. Cool.
Yes.
And of course, Mr. Scott also, thank you for joining in the comment section. Awesome. Awesome. I mean, quite an interesting conversation, like I said. And I think, it begs for men to actually not just men, all of us really, to ask the right questions and to question things, not out of aggressiveness and not just to prove a point, or to truly understand, right? To truly understand the other person so that we are then able to have conversations that can move us forward. Now, I think, talking about these double standards and everything, how do you feel that we can? I mean, you're already doing something about it by having this conversation, by creating awareness that actually there's this thing that is double standard and it shouldn't be. But other than the conversations you're having, if there was one, two, three things that you want to share, I mean, you do that on your platform, but you want to share on this platform to say, I feel if we begin to handle things this way, it might help to maybe mitigate against this double standards, right? And then help us um, balance this scale. Sometimes when there is a scale in life, I feel like it's very difficult to have a balanced scale, but at least a fair scale is not too much to ask, basically. So, how would you say we can have a fair scale?
Well, one of the ways I believe that we can have a fair scale and balance things is when parents start raising their male children right. Because if you look in the default settings of an African home, they ignore the male child and they are focused on the girl child, right? They'll tell the girl child how to sit, don't let the man touch you, don't go here, don't go there. But they fail to tell the young man, do not touch a girl without her consent. Whenever a girl says no, no is no. They do not.
No.
So if we can go this from the foundation, right? Teach parents that whatever standard you are setting for your girl child, set it also for your boy child. Do not
Mm,
excuse your boy child with that men will be men, boys will be boys.
mm.
That is what
Boys will
is
be
killing us
boys.
today,
Mm,
right?
mm,
So
mm.
whatever moral standard you are setting for your girl child, let it be applicable to your girl child. Do
To
not
the boy
focus
child.
on raising your girl child that you is in
Okay,
my
you're
network.
back now. Yes, yes, yes. You first for a second, but yeah, you're
Okay.
back.
So so whatever moral standard you want to set for the girl child, also apply it to the boy child. So,
Mm,
and in that way, these kids will grow up with that sense of equality between them. Whatever is
right.
wrong for the girl should also be wrong for the boy. Do not excuse the boy with that statement of boys will be boys. That's how boys
Mm,
behave. I even heard
mm.
one female pastor saying that train the girl child, leave the boy child alone. However, the boy child grows up, a woman would accept him that way. So if that boy
Sorry.
child grows up with a badly behaved, they believe that he's going to find a woman, and sadly enough, he will. He will
You
find a
will,
woman
that's the
because
thing.
the side effect of focusing on your girl child is teaching her how to endure that badly behaved sons that are not raised properly,
Right, right,
right?
right.
So if we want this thing to work, there has to be uh can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Is this
Yes,
my
I can hear
network?
you.
Okay.
I can hear
All
you.
right. So if we want this to work, all right. If we want this thing to work, there has to be a balance of morality. What is good for this should be good for this. What is bad for this should be bad for this. No excuses, right? Because at first they are both human beings before they are a boy or a girl.
Oh my
So if we
God.
want to attack this problem from the grassroots, let's begin from there.
Right. I love it. I love it. Coffee is raising. I like that, and I think it's very important. And I think this goes to boy moms and boy dads.
Um,
And another thing that I will just add to the conversation with that is that we need more present parents, in the lives of their children, because when it is something that is meant to be carried by two people, when it's carried by one person, it becomes a bit difficult for that one person to juggle it. But I've seen a lot of, like, there are stories of single people, single parents, which is especially maybe like a widow or a widower, who did a fantastic job of raising their kids, boy and girl. Like, they did a
a lot of
fantastic
them.
job, right? Do you see? But again, it's like, if for the people who are present, the people who have both parents should be present and they should take responsibility of raising these kids well. Now, Coffee in the comment section is raising a question. And I know this person like gist. Let's welcome this gist before we wrap up. Coffee is saying the first statement he made is why do women think a man should lay their lives down for them and offer them nothing in return? One, I will quickly answer before I let Smith talk. Should I don't give Smith, I don't give you name or Samuel, Milan, I don't give you name with that, oh, don't mind me. And then the second thing that looks like it, what she said is good if a man is obligated to die for a woman than a woman is obligated to die for a man. So I think, Coffee, I think this your statement, I mean, your question is valid, but I feel it's also one-sided, to be honest, because if you say, why do women think a man should lay their lives down for them and offer them nothing in return? First of all, like, are we playing is it a transaction? Is it a transaction, or is this us living out our humanity? And again, whatever answer I'm going to give from the perspective of a person of faith. I am a firm believer, and I know that there is a reason that we have male and female. God created us because it was not good for one to be alone. Then the helper came. That's why we have male and female. So it's not an exchange per se to say, I will lay my life down for you so that I will give you something in return. No, it's that we need each other. And I think that kind of balls in the center of what Milan is saying, since to say that we are equal. We just have different roles. But as far as our humanity is concerned, we are equal. But what are our roles? Our roles are different. Our roles are different, to be honest. So it's just understanding those roles and letting those roles play out the way they were designed to play out that will, make it thrive or bring it down. Do you see? So I don't think American standards, maybe again culture, culture and yeah, culture has played a role in really causing trouble in some places that it shouldn't, right? So, but that's how I would answer it. Like, isn't so? It's not supposed to be an exchange thing. It's supposed to be that we're all humans. We need each other. We have different roles. We play our roles. We are quite clear on our roles, and we play our roles in order to lift each other up, or in order to make the whole more beautiful. So it's not about I give you this, you collect that, you give me that. I don't personally think so. So, but I'd love to hear what you have to say.
All right. First of all, he said, why do women think a man should lay their lives down for them and offer nothing in return? I would really love to understand the context of that statement, because that is like a blanket statement. And if we're talking about who is laying down their lives between a man and a woman in marriage, I think the woman is the one laying down her life, because this woman is going to get pregnant for you. And you're women, you know the risks of being pregnant. You know the risks attached to being pregnant. A lot of women go into the labor room and they don't come out. So for a woman to get married to you and agree to give you kids, that woman has 50% put her life at risk. So is that not a woman laying down her life for a man? Now, as a man who is a husband, how are you laying down your life for your wife? I would really like to know. He has to add more context to that statement, because there is no context to it. But let me speak from the woman's perspective. A woman getting into marriage with a man and agreeing to give birth to kids for that man, that woman has 50% put her life at risk. That is her, in a real sense, putting her life, laying down her life for this man. Should we talk about the things women give up to get married? They give up their bodies, they give up their time and their careers. Their body changes form. They offer caregiving, they nurture these kids. Is that not them laying down their life just so this man can have a future? Because at the end of the day, the kids she will give to this man will bear his name and carry his name throughout generations. Nobody remembers her. That is her giving up her life. That is her giving up her time. That is her giving up her career. So he needs to add more context to that statement. And now saying American standards, right? I don't think it's about American standard. I think it is about adopting what is good for humanity. whether it is American people that is practicing it. It is about adopting what we believe is good. I'm always after how a man and a woman can benefit in marriage, even though I know that there is a very slim chance of that happening, right? Women give up a lot in marriage. Men give up little or nothing. I'm a man and I'm saying it. That's why the other day I made a video. A lady was saying men don't gain anything from marriage, only respect. If we start listing the things that women give up in marriage, you understand that these women are on the losing side. And that's why the society will frown at a woman who's decided, I don't want to have kids. I don't want to get married. They frown at them because they need these women to do these things. Because if these women do not do it, it reduces them from being a man according to them, because they will not be able to own these women in their own sense. They will not be able to own these women. These women are living free. They are living their life. So I wonder why they keep shaming women that decide they don't want to have kids and they don't want to get married. It's because they really need these women. They need these women to give up those things. If a man is the one laying down his life, why are they shaming women who refuse to get married? You understand? So if you can add context to that, his statement, tell me how a man lays down his life for a woman and expects, and the woman offers nothing in return, because the woman offering to give you kids is her already offering more than enough, because this one involves her going under the knife, putting her life at risk. At the age of 18, men will be called to military. In what
This
country?
man is probably okay. So let me jump in here because it looks unending. But what
Welcome
this
back.
is saying, yeah, thank you so much. What this is saying to me is we would need to come up with a conversation where I'm hoping that Milan can come on the show again, where we have a for and against, not for the purpose of, just creating chaos, but to pinpoint, what people are comfortable with, and then to sit down and check it. So, for instance, let me play the devil's advocate here. We've been talking about double standards with regards to sex. Some people will tell you that, okay, there's this double standard when it comes to provision. When, like, you take a girl out, and it is just expected that you should spend on her, you should do this and you should do that. If there was someone asking that somewhere, because I saw somebody sent a message and said, if we want to talk about this double standard thing, it go touch all areas. Hey, EJ, this thing has gone off again. Please just be on standby. It will touch on all areas, right? So the question is, when is it a time to know that this particular thing in the area of a man providing, once you go out, it's expected that a man should provide or pay for the bill. Where would you place that? Can you call that a double standard, or where will you place that in the area of provision?
It's not double standard, and I'll tell you why. So a girl sitting at home, you text her and you say you want to take her out on a date. You take her out on a date and you expect her to pay for what? She did not make budgets. She did not make budgets to go out and have a date with you. So you, as the man, you propose the date. I tell people, whoever is their idea to go out on a date should pay. Because I cannot be in my house. You will invite me and say, come, let's go out on a date I did not plan for. You sat down, you thought about it. Okay, I have extra cash. Like, let me just go out on a date with this. You invite me on a date, you will pay. So there is nothing like double standard there. Now, this is why they think this is double standard, right? And which is why I think a lot of men are being affected by this, but they don't know. But instead of giving it up to be on level ground, they will rather uphold it and still suffer, right? So if a man, right, agrees that being a man, being a provider is not what makes you the head of the home, because that's what they usually use to put themselves above a woman, that they are the providers. Who made you the provider? Who made you the provider? The society told you that you are the provider. Now there is a way for you to lessen that burden, which is marrying a woman and being on equal footing with this woman. Marry a financially independent woman, but a lot of them fear financially independent women. That alone is going to reduce this entire burden of provision. Because when you marry a woman and you are subscribing to partnership, right, not headship, where you are the head, because being the head, you're going to provide, because that is how the society has constructed it. That is how the society has constructed family tree, right? But when you step out of it, and instead of practicing headship, you're practicing partnership. Your wife is bringing her 100, you're bringing your 100. The both of you are working side by side to build a family. So you cannot call it double standard when a lot of these men are clinging and holding on to this provider mindset. Who made you the provider? Of course, the society. They told you that that is what it will take for you to own a woman. I don't know if she's still here. CJ, EJ, I think she's gone. You're muted.
I was just saying in the comment section now that you are pro women and we love it. But yeah, I love what you're saying, and I think I really understand, where you're coming from to say partnership, right? And honestly, I think was it a video I saw recently? It's like a podcast, a group of young men, talking, and one of them was sharing how he also had to shift his mindset from this concept of being a provider. Like me, provider, how? No, God is our
You
provider.
get,
God is our
like,
is
you
our
get, I
provider.
come to you, let's build a family, and you are leaving every
Exactly.
provision on me.
To
And
me,
moreover, a
what?
man cannot be the sole provider of the home. Because think about it. To run the home, the both of you have parts to play.
Yeah.
So if this woman is providing you with kids, if this woman is providing you with house chores, cooking your meals for you, that is her providing those services. It is
All
also a
right.
form
Yeah.
of provision, because a lot of these men, they
Absolutely.
believe that when they call that provider
It's only
issue, they
money.
always link it to money, which is where many of them get it wrongly. They always associate it with
Absolutely.
money,
Absolutely. I think
which is the wrong
that's
mindset.
where the real problem is, which is
Yes,
men tie their identity to money.
I've always been shouting
Like
it.
when a man does not have money, like I've seen it happen too many times, even in marriage, when the man is broke, the beast in him comes alive.
Amen. Because
That's
he's
when he
not living up to
notices.
his standard of a man.
That's when he notices that the same thing that the wife has been saying, like maybe the wife has always said when they are laughing, they are friends for crying out loud, say a big head. Because he's broke now, he will stand on that big head, say, you call me big head, you know why be don't
Because
dey
I don't have
disrespect
money.
me because I don't get money. Like why? Why?
No, it's true. It's true. I don't know why a man would tie his value and his worth to something that can disappear overnight. That's you putting yourself in
Exactly.
prison. Because
That's
once that money is
exactly.
gone, your identity goes with it. So why
Mm,
not tie it to something more valuable that
no,
money cannot
and
buy?
and to be fair, not because I'm a woman or anything, but I've seen it also. Is that have you not seen where a woman is head over heels in love with a man that does not have money in the now, but has a vision, has a future, has a plan, and together they walk their way to that picture that they are looking at? We've seen it happen
Exactly.
over and over and over again.
I've seen
That
it
that
countless
at
times.
that point, there's no money. There's no money. So why would men stick to this idea? And I think you answered it pretty much. If you think you are the provider, you're going to fall into that
You put
trap,
unnecessary
that
pressure on you.
pressure. Yeah, yeah, and it's funny because even young boys are having the pressure now. I try my best to pound it into my son's ears that guy, you are not meant to be doing like you. Nobody is. I'm not expecting anything from you. My son is so responsible that okay, fine. Things have happened, life has happened, right? And he can see, he can see like, oh, mom, I wish I could just help mom to do this. I wish I could do this for grandma. I wish I could do this for my auntie. And he carries all of that weight. And I'm like, who is giving you this weight to carry? Have I
It's
come
what the
to you to say,
society has told
if I
him.
come to you to say, guy, I beg you, come just raise me? No, it will never, God will never make it happen. God will never make it that bad that I will be
Amen.
expected from you. Do you see what I mean? But like you said, it's so strong, etched into the society that even young boys now carry that responsibility. And because of that, they are willing to do whatever to step into that role and to maintain that role or to keep face, which is why you see them doing all sorts now just to be in a position, to provide. And I think probably one of the things that we'll still keep doing is having this conversation like you're already doing with your platform over and over again. Peradventure, we can sensitize the coming, the youth, because again, it's like, the saying that you cannot teach an old dog a new trick. It might be it might be very tricky to change the minds of the grown men, because
Yeah.
it's hard to tell a 40-year-old man, a 45-year-old man, to say that you have to drop this pressure of you are not the provider, right? And play on the same plane, with your partner or your counterpart. Another thing with women, like you said about emotional intelligence, is the fact that when when the man plays that, I don't know how to say this thing. It's like it's both ways. If I see you as a guy, you are placing me like we are in this together. As a woman, I want to do everything I can to support you because I know we are doing this together. Do you see? In the same vein, if you flip it and you say, no, don't worry, you are like, now. So ladies will be like, maybe you can provide. Oh yeah, now. I will do, baby girl, you will spoil me silly. And if you cannot, they've trained her to a standard. She will look for somebody that can match that standard. Do you see? So again, a lot as like it's like layers in layers. And I feel like the most effective way is to actually focus on the upcoming young men and to please
That
tell
is
them.
where my focus is. I'm more focused on the younger men. I don't care about this grown-up men because what they keep doing is keep pushing out that harmful rhetoric to young men. So
Right.
whenever I see their videos, I always like to stitch it and address it so that whenever these young men come across what they are saying, they will also listen to me and weigh it. And for a mind that is still very innocent, right, you'll be able to detect which one is true and which one is the lie.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yes.
that's
Yes.
one of the things I do, and people send me a lot of videos every day. Sometimes I'm even overwhelmed because I don't even know which one to reply, and
Mm,
it's very. But I'm doing my best, but it's not easy, to
mm.
reply all of those rhetorics.
It's a
And what
lot.
I do sometimes is I just sit down on my own and I talk about something I know is very normal in the society that is not right. I just talk
Mm.
about it and I put it out there.
I want to ask, just as we're wrapping up, how do you then stay mentally healthy? Because I have a friend as well who she's a doctor. She's a psychotherapist, right? She's a therapist basically, and her page, like if you go on that page, your head will be pounding you to hear the stories and the things people are going through. Now she focuses on DV, so there are a lot of stories about DV and cheating, and things are happening, bro. So I'm wondering, and you just mentioned that, how are you coping? How are you staying healthy yourself?
I'm trusting in God because this thing you mentioned now, I think I spoke about it with a friend of mine recently. It got to a point where I started having a mental breakdown and it started affecting me psychologically.
Mm,
So what happened was there was a time I was really into this, and every day I keep getting videos about how men have been treating women, the DV, the rape, and all of that. So I was so
right.
invested in it, and I discovered that at the point it started affecting me, started affecting my relationships, not just with my relation, even my relationship with people, right?
Mm,
And I had to take a minute, like I had to take a step back, to take care of myself because
mm,
if I'm not mistaken, I think I was almost depressed. So it's not easy what we do because what you're doing is you're fixing yourself in a situation. And because I'm very empathetic, I can literally feel the pain by just hearing the story.
mm,
So it affected me in a way mentally, but I'm doing fine now. And I've learned to navigate and
mm,
regulate myself whenever I'm, into this in a way that it will not get to me because whether you like it or not, you're dealing with people's pain, and if you're not
mm,
careful enough, you're going to put that pain on you. So yeah, it affected me mentally at one point, but now I'm learning how
You
to
found
separate
a
myself from it. Yeah.
right, right. How about your own your own relationship? As any of these stories and these backlashes and everything that you've experienced on this journey, has it affected your relationship in any way? And how are you going
Yeah,
about it?
yeah, one time it did, but we've sorted it out. That's why if you check my social media page, you would never see my girlfriend there. You would never see my siblings. You would never see my dad. You would never see my mom. My sisters follow me on TikTok. They follow me on social media, but I've warned them, do not come online and familiarize with me, because some of these men that are targeting me, when they can't get me, they will try to come through you. You understand? So yeah, it affected my relationship one time. She's even inside. I don't know if you can hear me. So it affected one time, but we're good. We're good.
I'm curious, one more before I go, and this is because you're an empath, I'm an empath, and so we're on the same level. Is what is one thing that you would say helped in helping you say we're good? What was the one thing? If there was one thing that you felt did it for you guys, what was it?
Okay, for me and my relationship, or me personally.
Yes, you and your relationship, as in that thing that made it say we're good. There's something happened, something went wrong.
Okay,
You almost
yeah.
broke, or
So
something. What was that one thing? Yeah.
by separating my relationship life from this, whenever we're together, nothing of such comes up. We focus on ourselves, and whenever she's not around, I focus on helping people. That was one of the things we did.
I love
But me
it.
personally, individually, what helped me was one day I sat down and I cried. Like I just let out the whole emotion.
Let it
And
out.
after that I felt really good. And I try not to feed my mind with a lot of those things. I pick my battles now, right? I pick what I discuss and talk about. During that Ochanya's case was when I learned this. I don't know if you guys heard about Ochanya, the Benue girl. Yeah. During then, I was very invested in it. I was so angry. I was so pained. I was so hot that I was so invested in it. But I realized that it was beginning to affect me mentally, and I had to pull away. I just, out of the blue, I just stopped to take care of myself. And now I pick what I talk about. I pick what I feed myself. I don't I get a lot of messages. Right now, I have over 500 messages I've not replied. That's because I go there and I pick the ones I want to get into. And these days, I'm more focused on relationships, right? And okay, he's beating me. What do you think I should do? I get those questions. Like the recent one I got, the lady said the guy is cheating on her, but she doesn't know if she should leave or she should stay. And then I asked her a question: if I ask you to stay, will you stay? She said she doesn't understand. I said, I'm asking you, somebody that is cheating on you and is beating you, you're thinking of leaving or staying. And I'm asking, if I tell you to stay with him, will you stay? She said, no. I said, you have your answer. So you know what to do. You get, so I get a lot of messages, but I've programmed myself in a way not to overload myself. And then I will help people, and then I'm the one in trouble. I've looked for a way to regulate that. So I'm good now.
Thank you so much for sharing.
Very
Thank you.
brilliant, very brilliant. Because it's safe to say that you're an advocate, and you 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 want to, when you see things, and these things are not normal. They are actually gifts, you know. And whenever I see someone that is, probing certain things, you know that this person needs. I mean, likes change, and wants to advocate for that to happen. So sometimes you question yourself and you're saying that, why am I even doing this? I was going to ask you a question in the beginning that, you said you were doing something and you had to shift. This is us wrapping up pretty soon, but you had to shift.
Okay.
So the question I was going to ask you, oh, was it a case of, how social media is, if you focus on something and that thing is not paying off in the area of traffic and all of that, maybe you might now diversify to go to something a bit more controversial that would help you get the audience. Was that it for you, or you were genuinely advocating for change? But I guess the conversation has opened up. But I still need you to talk about that. Just 1 minute, talk about that, then we will wrap up.
Okay. All right. So, for me, I usually tell people this is not a game for me. This is not what I like doing, right? Not like I hate doing it, but with all the backlashes I'm getting, I don't think anyone in their right frame of mind will sit down and decide that they want to be hated by a group of men, even some women. So for me, it was not to drive traffic, because when I started this, I was already at 90,000, 190,000 followers already. I was getting the traffic, I was getting I had the audience, I had the platform. So it was not something I just started, right? I already had the audience and I had a lot of men following me. So I saw it as a means to help these men. Since I already have these men, right? And whenever I put out calling out badly behaved men, they get angry. But in as much as they are getting angry, I know they are listening to the messages. So I already had the platform. And then something happened. I lost that account on TikTok of 190,000 followers. I also lost my account of 90,000 followers on Facebook, and also lost my account of 82,000 followers on this Instagram where you found me. This account is like the eighth account I opened. So I don't think it's a traffic thing for me, because at the point it affected me mentally, and I don't think anybody will be sane enough to put themselves in that position. So for me, it's more like something I have found passion in doing, and I want these men to actually learn. And mind you, if I was not getting positive feedbacks, I would not be doing this. But every day I have a lot of men who come to me and tell me, "Thank you, sir, I have learned." Not women. I get a lot of messages from women too, but I'm more focused on the men. A lot of men come to me and they'll tell me, "OG, forget about all these things men are doing. I don't actually learn." You get, men follow me, but people don't know. And these men that are following me is because these people are open-minded and they actually want to learn. So they don't come to criticize me. Even the ones that have criticized me in the past, some of them have learned and we are friends today. You understand? So it is not to get traffic, because there are millions of things I can use to get traffic. What I'm getting
Okay.
is hate.
Yeah. Okay. The last question is, what are you doing intentionally not to fall into the category of the badly behaved men? What are you doing intentionally not to fall in that category? Because, I mean, what are you
Okay,
doing?
I wanted to share this story with you backstage, right? I didn't start like this. I wasn't like this. I had to unlearn, and every day I keep learning. Right? We all learn. Sometimes when I make a discovery, right, I come and put it out there. And this is how I make my videos. Whenever I finish making my video, I listen to it over and over and over and over again to make sure it makes sense. Sometimes, if you're careful watching you might not really notice. If you're watching my video, sometimes some parts will be bright, some parts will be dark, and some parts will not look exactly the same. And that is because after I finish editing my videos and I play it over and over again, I discover, I should have said this. I go on the same outfit, set the stage, say it, and then put it there. So my messages mostly, at least I have to be blessed by my message before I put it out there. So if it is not speaking to me, if it is not something I am doing, I don't put it out there. So my messages preach to me before I put it out there. So I didn't just start like this, and I am still learning. I am still deconstructing some of these things. And luckily for me, I have a group of people around me that always call me out whenever I do maybe behave misogynistically, like I do something to, that is not normal, something I'm trying to unlearn. They'll call my attention to it. OG, this one way you do like this, not like this. I'll own up to it and I will never do it again. And one good thing with my learning process is I don't repeat the same mistake twice. If you correct me on this thing, I am always conscious of it until it becomes normal for me. So they don't correct me twice, right? Sadly, the lady that taught me about accountability, imagine a grown man like me. I recently just learned about accountability. Sadly, the lady that taught me about accountability, we're no longer in good terms. And this is because she was not taking accountability for her actions. So I was like, you cannot teach me this and you are not doing it. So we just had to go our separate ways. That is how big I am on learning, right? So it's something I learn every day. And whenever I see a bright mind that can put me through one or two, I learn, because I have a lot of people following me that I have to impact and pass these messages to. So I am always conscious of what I'm doing, and I'm intentional about it until all of it becomes normal for me. And this is my everyday life. I will keep on learning and I'll keep learning.
Yay! This is a very beautiful place to stop. I love it. We can stay here all day. I mean, I love how you speak. I love how you talk. You're so passionate. I recognize that part of you, and I love it. Thank you so much for using your voice for impact. I'm sure decades from today, someone is going to watch this video and it's going to speak to them, and they would learn
Hopefully.
and change what is not working in their lives. Thank you so much for
Thank you very much.
honoring our invitation. And I also
Thank
want
you
to
for having me.
ask you that when we come calling next time, I hope you will be available to
Hopefully,
grace our platform. Thank you so much.
hopefully.
And this
I
is
would
where
love
we
to.
will draw the curtains. Yeah, okay. You want to say something?
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure being here. I look forward to, speaking up in public spaces. You never know who you can impact and who can actually learn from you. So I always like taking advantage of the invitations, because and that is why I'm not doing this for money. You asked a question, are you doing it because there's no traffic or payment? When I came on social media, money was the last thing, even though now I have monetized my time, right? Back when I started, it was like I was doing it because people needed to see this. But then when the request became overwhelming, right, in order for me to operate in a pace where I would not be rushed and where I would not be overwhelmed or overpowered, right, overloaded, I had to monetize my time so that I'll pick my battles and know how to fight it. But it's not about the money, because if it's about the money, I know what to do to for the money. But here we're doing it for the passion, and I like honoring invitation. You see, when we spoke, I never spoke about honorarium or you paying me. This is because I saw it also as an advantage to also let speak on your platform so that people would hear. So if it's not about the money, it's more about the passion and the lessons we want to be out there. Because years from now, people can still play this conversation, they will listen, and the ones that will learn will actually learn. That is the advantage, and that is the purpose of this.
Alrighty, thank you so much. We have come to the end of the show. Please remember to
Thank you for
subscribe,
having me.
share this to a friend. We all need to be educated so that we can do better. See you on the next episode of Your Voice, Your Impact.
Thank
This
you.
is signing out.
Have a great
Bye.
day. Bye.
Okay. DJ, can you? I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to end the live.